A couple of years ago, I debated whether or not to put a roof rack on my car or a tow hitch. Now, in the end, I decided to go with the tow hitch because it's easier to transport my bikes, and we knew that we were eventually going to get a teardrop trailer, which in the end we did. And we've been using the tow hitch to tow the trailer. But now I'm beginning to realize that I need a roof rack for some of my things instead of the tow hitch. Now, I'm Frugal Tesla Guy, and we're going to take a look at an aftermarket roof rack and why I decided to go this route. So here's everything laid out for you from the EVbase kit. Now you've got the main roof rack back here, of course, the shorter and the longer one. The shorter one goes up front, the longer one goes up front, and the shorter one goes in the back. These are the end caps that go on the ends here. Of course, there are also locks. That's kind of cool. You can lock this into place, and there are the keys to lock and unlock this roof rack. You've also got an Allen wrench here, which will show where you're going to need to use that. These are what basically screw this down, the roof rack down to the car. These are the metal brackets that go between the glass roof and the frame. Now, one thing to keep in mind with the glass roof is in installation of the car, there actually is some hardware that these will attach to. So you're not going to have to worry about cracking the glass, although you don't want to screw it down too hard, which we'll get into that a little bit later. And we'll also show you exactly where you can find that hardware to where you place these. And this is a little tool here to help kind of tie it down. This is also what's going to help to get these pieces underneath that glass. These are also some rubber pieces that go between the car and the roof rack to protect the finish as well. There also is a set of instructions here and a parts piece as well. So you can use this if you want to use this to install it, or even better, you can watch my video to see just how easy it is to install. In fact, let's go up to the car and see just how easy it is to install this roof rack from EVbase. Now, before we get started, I do want to take note that I did watch the installation video for the Tesla OEM kit. A couple of things that I noticed is that number one, the hardware is essentially the same. And number two, the installation process is also essentially the same. So you can rest assured that the EVbase kit is going to be just as effective as the Tesla OEM roof rack kit. Now, another thing you got to do before you put the metal bracket in there is going to be a adhesive film that we put on the frame of the car right in front of the glass. I think that's just more of a sense to kind of help protect the overall finish of the car once we do put those racks on there. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of clean those off so that adhesive film has something clean to adhere to, so we don't have any dirt in the way so it doesn't start to peel up. So there I have it all cleaned off, and we'll go on to step number 2. So it's easiest to see if you use a flashlight here. You can see here, this is the one up at the front seam here. And if we just kind of go over here with the light, go to the back, you'll see the second arrow, which is where you'll need to place that other metal bracket. So I came at a little bit of a roadblock when it came to the installation, and that's these rubber pieces right here. Now, it's a little confusing because there are different sizes and you want to know exactly which one goes where. And there is a nice little label process on these rubber pieces to help make that process easier. Unfortunately, my labels are incorrect. And so upon further investigation, what it really came down to is that I'm looking at L1 and L2. L stands for left side of the car or the driver's side of the car. And then there's R1 and R2. That's the right side of the car or the passenger side of the car. And the R1 goes up front, R2 goes in the back. Now the L1, which goes on the left side here, this one is bigger. The straight edge of the rubber piece goes on the body or the frame of the car. The rounded piece goes onto the glass side. So I'm going to put this one on here. and that is L1. L2 goes on the back. This is a smaller piece. Again, the straight edge goes right here on the frame of the car. The rounded edge goes on the glass. I'm going to put that on there. All right, so I'm now going to bring you over here. I'm going to show you. So you have got L1 right here on the front of the car on the left side, the driver's side. Over here, you have got L2. So we put that on there. There's that straight edge, the rounded edge over the glass. We're going to do the same thing over on the other side, only be R1 and R2. R1 over here, R2 in the back. All right, so now it's the moment of truth, and we put the crossbars on. Now you're going to notice that there are two different size crossbars. One is shorter than the other. The shorter one goes in the back, and the longer one goes up front. All right, so let's go ahead and get these installed here. I'm going to go ahead and put the shorter one up top. Let's see here. There we go. And you just kind of match. It's basically like putting in, just kind of matching the shape of the rubber piece to the piece up front. And again, you'll also notice that if you put the wrong piece on, then the size of the rubber piece will not fit the one on here. So the smaller rubber piece is on the back, shorter side. The larger rubber piece is on the front, which is the longer ski rack, or should I say roof rack. And again, I just kind of match them up here. It's kind of hard to, there we go. There's, all right, so you got these nuts right here that go on top of the screw here. Now there are a couple of ways that you're going to tighten this down. You've got an Allen wrench they provided here. That may be tough to kind of reach in some of those spots here. You've also got this plastic tool which will work with this as well. So you're going to want to do some kind of hand tightening of this. You don't want to tighten it too hard because you don't want to damage, of course, the glass. Yes, there is that protection with the hardware between the bracket and the glass itself. But once again, you don't want to over tighten it because that can, of course, cause damage to the roof. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on and see where we go from there. All right, so before I tighten this up, I've got another on the other side that's been screwed in there on the other side, and it's hand tightened. Now I'm putting this side on here, and I'm hand tightening this one at this point. And what I'm going to do now is take this Allen wrench that was provided in the kit, and let's go ahead and get that going in there. I'm going to take the longer edge here and get a little bit more leverage. Now I'm noticing I'm not going too tight here. I'm not noticing that it's getting too tight. There's still plenty of play in there. Now, it's pretty solid right now. Now I still want to tighten it up just a little bit more. I may use this tool right here to kind of get it a little bit more. But I don't feel as though I'm tightening it too much that I have to worry about it too much. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and tighten the other side a little bit more. And that actually feels pretty good. I'm pushing it this way, got it this way. There's not a lot of play. So this is on here pretty solid, and I feel good about this one. I'm going to go ahead and do the one in the back, and we'll go ahead and wrap things up with putting those end pieces on. I'm really happy with how this turned out here. First of all, you can see the main roof rack here from EVbase. This is what I installed here and showed you how to install. It was fairly easy. I did run into one little snafu, and that was the little rubber pieces at the bottom here were mislabeled. At least one of them was. Made things a little bit more confusing, but I was able to figure it out. No problem. So outside of that, there were no other hiccups getting this thing installed, and it looks good. It's on here nice and tight, solid, don't have to worry about it. Now, another product that I have here is obviously a separate device, and this is not part of EVbase. I got this on Amazon, and this is the ski rack here. The ski rack is capable of holding 4 snowboards. I've got 2 snowboards on here stacked on top of each other, my skis right next to it. And I tell you what, this is going to be a perfect setup here for us when we go on these ski trips. Now, last year when my son was on the snowboarding team, I had sometimes to take a couple of his teammates with him. So we had him and then 2 others in the back seat. Now, at that time, I did have the Model Y, and the center seat in the Model Y does go down. So I was able to put the snowboards and skis in the middle while they sat on either side of those skis. Then my son was in the front seat. You can't do that with the Model 3. So the only other option is to do what I've got right here. And that is put all of their gear, all of their snowboards and the skis on top of the car while they sit inside the car comfortably. And on top of that, if they have any gear that they need to put in the trunk, there's plenty of room for it, not to mention in the front trunk of the Tesla Model 3 as well. So overall, I'm really happy with how this turned out. This looks good. It feels good. This is exactly what I needed for this season here, as we no longer have the Tesla Model Y, and this is now making the Tesla Model 3 much more versatile. I can comfortably take the kids up to the ski park, put all their gear up on top, put their other gear in the back. They can sit comfortably in the car on both the way there and on the way home. So if you want, and if you're interested in the base roof rack here, the EVbase Roof Rack, for a discounted price through me, Frugal Tesla Guy, all you got to do is click on the description, click on the link that is in the description below, and you'll be able to get a discount on this particular roof rack, on top of the fact that it's already cheaper than the OEM Tesla roof rack itself. So be sure to check it out. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you think. Does it look okay? Does it look stupid? The thing is, it's all personal preference, isn't it? Some people have an outdoor lifestyle where they need the roof rack. Others don't necessarily have that lifestyle where they don't need that roof rack and it's not necessary. You are going to lose some efficiency while this is on. So that's something to take into account, that if you're not using it year round and it's not too much of a pain to take this thing on and off, you may just want to do that. I may end up just leaving the base roof rack on and then taking off the ski rack when it's not in season. Otherwise, you're going to lose even a lot more efficiency with this ski rack on top of this as well. So again, tell me what you think in the comment section below. In the meantime, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, and stay positively charged.